All right, today we're cracking open a really gripping short play called The Last Mission. And let me tell you, it's an absolute masterclass in spy storytelling. It is just packed with these insane twists that make you question everything you think you know about identity and loyalty. So let's get into it and unravel this web of secrets where memory itself is the ultimate weapon.
The story just drops us right into the thick of it with this one line. I mean, just think about that for a second. A total stranger walks into your quiet life and tells you everything you know, everything you are, is a complete lie. This single sentence, this is the key that's going to unlock the entire mystery.
Okay, so let's meet our protagonist. His name is James. And you gotta picture this. He's a man in his 60s, living this peaceful, secluded life out in a cabin, just reading a newspaper. He's convinced he has no family, no real past to speak of. But as you can probably guess, that quiet little world is about to absolutely shatter.
And here you can just see the massive difference between these two lives. On the one hand, you have James's reality as he knows it, calm, isolated, pretty ordinary. But then on the other hand, you've got this wild story from a woman named Anna who claims he's forgotten everything. A life as a top-tier spy, a dangerous past, a wife, a daughter, a past so volatile it had to be completely wiped clean. It's a collision of two totally different worlds.
So, this brings us to the most important question, right? Do we believe her? Is this woman really his daughter trying to save him? Or is she something else entirely? The whole story, everything that happens next, really hinges on the answer to this one question.
Now, Anna doesn't just show up with a bunch of forgotten memories. Nope, she brings a mission. And this is where the story kicks into high gear and becomes a real high-stakes thriller. She tells James she needs his help to, save the world, pulling him right out of retirement and throwing him back into the shadows.
And the threat? It comes from this mysterious figure known only as the Phantom. Anna says he's the leader of a group of ex-spies who've gone rogue. And they're not just messing around. Their goal is to tear down the entire global order and build a new one from the chaos.
So how are they going to do it? Yeah, with a stolen nuclear weapon. The stakes literally could not be higher. And their target is New York City. Now, Anna's smart. She makes this personal. She tells James it's where he was born, where he grew up, where he supposedly even met his wife. So it's not just some random city. It's his forgotten home.
And to make it all even worse, there's a ticking clock. They have until noon tomorrow to find that bomb and stop the Phantom. The pressure is on, and every single second is going to count.
But how is James, a guy with no memory, supposed to track down this villain? Well, Anna reveals the first huge twist to the story. The Phantom isn't some faceless bad guy. It's Smith, James's old partner. A friend, a colleague, and now his mortal enemy.
And just as we're trying to wrap our heads around that, there's a knock at the door. And guess who it is? It's Smith himself. And his arrival is about to flip this entire story completely on its head.
So Smith comes in and tells a totally different story. Anna painted James as a hero who was captured. Smith says no, he was a traitor who got soft, and I exposed him. Anna says his memory was erased by force. Smith insists James faked the whole thing. So who in the world are we supposed to believe now?
And then Smith drops another bombshell. He confesses to everything. He says, yep, I made up the Phantom. I organized the agents, I got the bomb. But get this, his motive wasn't about creating some new world order. It was all just one big, incredibly elaborate revenge plot to make his old partner James suffer.
So it seems like we finally have our answer, right? Smith's the mastermind, he's driven by revenge. It's this tragic story about a broken friendship. But, in a story like this, is it ever really that simple?
Okay, you might want to brace yourselves for this one, because everything we think we know is about to change. The play has been saving its most shocking, mind-blowing revelation for the very end.
We heard Smith's big confession, that he created the Phantom to get revenge on James. But what if he wasn't the one really pulling the strings? What if he was just another pawn in a much, much bigger game?
The real Phantom is James. Let that sink in for a minute. The quiet man in the cabin, the hero with amnesia, the victim of this whole thing, he was the architect of it all from the very beginning.
I mean, the level of deception here is just staggering. He didn't lose his memory, he chose to erase it.
He set up his own capture, his own torture, all to create the perfect cover story. He manipulated his closest friend Smith, he used Anna, all as part of this grand, twisted plan to destroy the agency he used to work for.
But the real question is, why? Why do all this? And this is what makes the story so incredible. It wasn't about power or revenge. Not really. He was just empty. He was a master spy who was so good at his job, so detached, that he lost himself and couldn't feel anything anymore. He created this entire self-destructive game just so he could feel something again. Love, pain, betrayal, anything to escape the numbness.
As Smith lays out the whole truth, he says these final words to James, and it just hits so hard. This wasn't something that happened to James, it was a fate that he carefully and meticulously designed for himself. He literally wrote the script, cast the actors, and built the stage for his own final act.
And that leaves us with this final, really chilling question. If you can create your own reality, if you can orchestrate your own past and choose what you remember, what does memory even mean anymore? For a spy like James, the play suggests that memory isn't a record of who you are, it's just another weapon in the arsenal.